Hi there, this is David Lee. Thanks very much for joining me on Live Business Talk. Well, this is a very special talk this evening because it's international. I've got people from Asia, I've got from the United States, I've got from Europe here in the United Kingdom as well, because we've got a very special lady on, and I wanted to introduce you especially to those in the United Kingdom that haven't heard of Emma Tibbins. Emma is somebody that I met, I think, about 2 to 2.5 years ago. Now, I'll have to say something that this is the first time I've ever said it out loud. I've got a secret admiration for this lady. Yes, I do, because I've been watching her from afar from London. I've been watching what she's been doing, and having gone along the journey that we talk about through the self-development, going through the changes, it's really the metamorphosis of what we want to become in our life. To see somebody actually go through this, because if you've done it yourself, you've lived it, you breathed it, you understand the trials, the tribulations, everything that we have to go through to break away from our past. Sometimes the journey's not easy. Sometimes we have to really challenge ourselves and challenge the people around us. And I've seen Emma go through this. I saw her going to live events, attending, and because she's got a Filipino background, that drew my attention because my wife is Filipino. And it was, for me, it was such an honor and a pleasure to meet Emma when I went over to the United States to attend Passion2Profit and see her and her family, her son, for the first time. But more than that, and that's the purpose of this call, to hear her story, so that you can understand that what we're doing on this call is real people, real life stories, and that you listening in tonight are no different to me, to Emma, to anybody that goes through this. We all have our challenges in life. I'm giving her a big build-up, but she deserves it. So what I want to do next is talk about what is the objective of tonight's call. If you go into a meeting, if you go into any situation, what are you trying to get out of this call? And what I want for you on this call tonight is to see the journey, see the paths. I want you to hear some of the things that don't always work before they do work. I want you to feel what Emma has gone through to come out the other side. Because on our previous call, this is part 2, we had on our previous call a young lady also from the Philippines that is taking the journey, that is moving forward. But now we're talking to somebody that now can start looking in hindsight of what she's accomplished. So after that big introduction, I'd like to welcome Emma Tibbins to my call on Live Business Talk. Are you there in Los Angeles, Emma? And welcome to Live Business Talk.
Oh my gosh, welcome. Thank you so much, David. That's a very touching intro, very heartfelt. And wow, I'm just really honored to be here with you and our friends in the UK. And I just love the fact that it's so, we have resources and tools now that makes it easy for us to reach a broader audience, and so we can share our message. And truthfully, what we're doing right now, anyone can do. Anyone can share their message as well, especially if it's a message of inspiration, empowerment, and equipping others who are on the path where we were, and take them along the journey and assure them that things are going to be okay on the other end.
So
yeah,
Emma,
I love this.
introduce yourself to the people. So just as if we're sitting around a table, that's really what this talk is about. We're all sitting around a coffee table, just introducing ourselves to each other and just sharing what we've got. So let people know about you, because they may not have heard you over here, or of you, or about you here in the United Kingdom.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Emma Tibbins, and the media calls me the relational marketer. I am an author, a speaker, and a brand marketing strategist. So basically, I teach, or I create a powerful and compelling online presence for entrepreneurs here and worldwide, where they immediately attract their ideal clients, and then they connect with them at the heart and transform themselves into trusted authority. Because I got so tired of seeing people wandering around and figuring out what strategies to do. How do I position myself online? How do I get my message? How do I clarify my message? And so 2.5 years ago, I discovered that my life's purpose and my vision and my mission for myself and for other entrepreneurs is to really play a bigger game and to stop playing small. And that started the birth of all the systems, products, and services that I now offer to clients. But basically, more importantly, I am a mother. I'm a mother, a homeschool mom, and I am a very attentive wife, respectful wife, and I'm a daughter. So and I'm a friend. I support a lot of people, emotionally, and I just love being able to really get out there and be visible, so I can empower a lot more people with what I do, what I share, my lifestyle, inspirational stories, the books that I read, or anything that can support anyone who comes in contact with all my content online.
So, Emma, to get to where we're going on this call, to get people set straight, the path that you're taking, so that they can see a vision, if that is what they're looking in their life. When I see these images in front of you and in front of the viewer, you look very confident. You look self-assured about yourself, but that was not always the case. I remember you're looking for the answers, and we will be discovering that as we go through. So what happened to seeing you here? Where were you before you got to that stage, Emma?
Oh my gosh, where do we start?
Start at the beginning. We had a young. I want to ask you this: you at the age of 21, 22, at that age,
22.
What were your visions? Because this is part two. What were your visions as a young person? Let's take it from there, and as it progressed.
Perfect. Okay. Well, 21, 22, I was working in the movie industry in the Philippines. It was one of the biggest movie production outfits in the Philippines, and life was great. So to speak, for what I know then, life was great. My vision was very minuscule. It wasn't even. It was just to get married and have children and have a job. And then I had the opportunity to come to the United States, and that's another long story. But when I had a taste of what is here and what the possibilities are and how opportunities are available for so many people, I made a decision to explore further on how I can grow as a person. So that was around when I was 25. But in 21, really, I had no dreams because, I mean, truthfully, I had mentors, which were basically my the people I worked for, the owners of the movie company. But as far as life mentors, it was basically just my parents, maybe a couple of aunts and uncles, but really no one. The only book that I did have that was a saving grace for me was Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
So what was looking back, Emma, to where you are now, to the Emma that you're just describing? What do you think? What's different about Emma today?
Oh my gosh, I can't even recognize the Emma then. The Emma today now, it really has awakened. I am more purposeful. I am more in tune with what's going on around me and how everything that is happening to me right now and everything that has happened in the past is a collective energy or collective force that is bringing me to really my life's purpose or mission, which is to make a bigger difference, not just to settle for mediocrity in my little circle in my home. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there is this burning desire in me that I was called to do more, to be, do, and have more. I always believe, David, that for me to become a blessing to others, I have to be unbelievably blessed myself, and so that's what propelled me to seek more.
Now, one thing I'm noticing in what you're saying, Emma, at not one point have you ever mentioned the word money. That is quite interesting. I'm listening to you, and you're talking about things that you want in your life, your well-being, things around you that make you feel good, that make your empowerment. But you have never mentioned the word money, and I know money is a byproduct of what you're doing today.
Right.
But isn't that interesting that you can be talking now about what you're doing, what you're loving, the life you're living, and money doesn't come into the equation because it takes care of you? That is one of the interesting things.
Exactly. Well, see, this is what happens. And gosh, you were seeing right now on this slideshow a beautiful picture of my beloved mentor, Joe Bauer, who really, oh my gosh, transformed my life 2.5 years ago. And that's my son Garrett right there. This is in Passion to Profit, but I just want to take a sidebar there to acknowledge this beautiful slide. Just makes me smile when I see this. Yes, we don't talk about, I don't necessarily talk about money all the time because there's a way, there's a time and a place for that. When you talk about your vision, it's absolutely imperative that money is part of that vision. But what happens is when you come from a place of service and in truth, and you have that genuine desire to really help and give value and bring sort of the concept of an increase to everyone you meet, the money follows, and it's so magnetic. I've watched some of my mentors do that. I mean, Joel Bauer is one of them. He talks about passion to profit, but when you actually meet him and study his system, I mean, it's not all about the money. It's all about the heart. It's all about the spiritual connection. It's all about the man or the woman. That's why the money is not the end all be all. But when I say, I want to become unbelievably blessed so I can become a blessing, that blessed means money and being whole and being happy and having everything that you want. Because that's really what the intention for all of us are in creation, is to have everything we could possibly have.
And yet, when we meet people, quite often in their day-to-day living, they're living for today. They're just hungry for the next dollar bill or the next pound note that's coming in, and it becomes the obsession. It takes over their life, takes over their relationships, it takes over their health and everything. And when you get that release, that freedom, I'm sure it's something that unless you've been there, it's difficult. This is what we're trying to show to people on this call this evening, the steps that people have taken. Now, one of the uncomfortable parts about taking these steps, which we spoke about last week, Emma, was when we get to the edge. When we get to that edge that there's no turning back, or where do we turn to next? There are moments in our life, and people, if you're listening in, you must have moments that you can hark back to, that you can relate to, where it's a turning point or something happens. Emma, what was your turning point?